Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm. It is Friday the 13th of March, and we are on the eve of what is going to be a gargantuan month for the Gunners as we navigate our way through various different competitions, all starting tomorrow at home as we have the chance to go temporarily 10 points clear of Manchester City if we can beat Everton in the late kickoff, because, of course, City play West Ham at the London Stadium shortly after us. Tough opposition. The games are coming thick and fast. The second leg against Leverkusen in the week, and then the Carabao Cup final at Wembley next weekend. Lots to talk about tonight. We're going to reflect on the Champions League action, why English clubs are suffering, what you guys made of the Arsenal performance. Got to talk about Saka, got to talk about Havertz, got to talk about Madueke. Was that a penalty? We'll look back, of course, at the fixtures in the week. We'll take a look at the fixtures that are coming up in the Barclays this weekend, and, of course, look ahead to the Everton game. So welcome, buckle up, and just enjoy tonight's show. Hope you've all had a really good week. Hope you've had a productive week at work, a good week at school or university, whatever it is that you choose to do. Quick shout out to my boy, Samuel Irons. He knows he's one of my children's friends. He came around, played some football with us all in the garden today. Sam, you are a legend. You are a legend. Hope you have a good weekend, and I hope the Irons do it tomorrow for you and for us. And a warm welcome to everybody, channel members, Patreon members, group chat, all of that sort of stuff. Love to have you here on a Friday. Get involved in the chat. We're going to head there straight away. JK Mayingo was first here, says, good evening, Gunners. 3 points is all we need, be it ugly, nasty, own goal, set piece goal. It's the 3 points that matters. Come on, you Gunner. Yes, the 3 points is all that matters tomorrow. Don't care how we get it, by hook or by crook, own goal, deflection, pinball, ricochet, whatever. A dodgy decision. We just need the 3 points. We need to keep this train going. Welcome to Mina. Hi, FK. How are you doing today? I am well. Thanks for all your messages throughout the week, or every transfer speculation. You are like the newest aggregator on the block. Hope you've had a good week. She says Arsenal will go 10 points clear of the Premier League table top. City losing to West Ham 3-0. I wonder. Mark, welcome. There's a new name I don't recognize. Hello, FK and gang. Lucky enough to have a ticket for Tuesday night, Champions League second leg. But before then, we'd love a big 3 points against Everton, and for West Ham to do us a favour later on in the evening. We'll get the boys' thoughts on what might happen this weekend in other fixtures. Vive Vlad, good evening all. Big game tomorrow. They'll make it difficult for us. We just have to get the 3 points. Welcome, Vive Vlad. Hope you're well. Welcome, Dan. Says, I probably won't be able to watch tomorrow since we'll be celebrating my cousin's birthday. Happy birthday to Dan Smith's cousin. But just know that I'll be keeping my fingers and toes crossed. And the rest, mate. Whatever you can keep crossed for us. Send good vibes. Jonathan, welcome. Hope you're well. Good evening, FK and chat. Big week in the league. UCL and Carabao Cup final. Big 10 days. Come on, you Gunners. Roberts here says, good evening. Very nervous about the game, but I have confidence in the team. Norgard to start, maybe. We'll take a look at starting lineup later on. Christoph is here. Jizzle McDizzle. Please, Arsenal. Just win tomorrow. I don't care how. Set piece, own goal, off Tarkovsky's arse. Don't care, whatever. Just please win. Please indeed. Dave's here. Patreon member, channel member. Thank you so much for your support, Dave. Really appreciate it. Paul, if you're watching, Patreon member, there is a single ticket for tomorrow, Everton, in your DMs. Let me know if you can make it, and I will make the transfer later today. It'd be great to see you at the Emirates tomorrow. DJ D10, big up FK and Posse. Let's do this, indeed. Whole Milk is here. Forder on Football's here. Let's go, boys. Thomas is here. Raphael catching off. All the usual people. Look at that. James Bond shouting out, Latte. Right, it is a pleasure to see you all. Hello to Asheen as well. Anthony, Christopher. Oh, Hand of Arsenal. The GOAT is here. Shout out my GOAT, FK. He says, you're too kind. Stick around, Hand of Arsenal. I got a feeling it's going to be a good show tonight. T-Cell says, FK, please tell Adidas no more drops until we win a trophy. Are you kidding me? These Adidas drops are doing numbers. They're doing bits. I can't wait to try the new garms. You don't want to see Unks wearing those Adidas garms around the stadium. Not this late lot anyway. Anajit, welcome. Trevor, welcome. Right, keep the chat active. We will keep coming to you guys as often as we can. Let's bring in our panelists as we normally do. First up, looking fresh, looking trim, with the fresh trim, Wembele. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. You're subdued. What's going on, man? Why are you so flat tonight?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Tired of waiting for tickets to the cup final.
Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this?
Sorry. Let's not rub it in.
You don't even deserve to be going.
But let's start from the top. How's your week been?
Long, man. Very, very, very long. Very, very busy. Got some stuff coming up at the beginning of next week, work-wise, that we've had to prepare for this week. And yeah, it's just been a very, very long, busy week. Late nights, early mornings. So yes, don't even really get to relax this weekend. It's my sister's birthday today, so she's got a party tomorrow. Then obviously Arsenal, and then Mother's Day, obviously on Sunday. So a happy early Mother's Day to all of our mums around, our parents that are in the chat that will be celebrating with mothers, with partners who are mothers, stuff like that. So happy early Mother's Day to anyone celebrating on Sunday.
Aren't you sweet? Happy Mother's Day indeed. Mothers are our queens. Cherish them, enjoy them, and spend time with them while you can. Well, welcome to you, Wayne. Hopefully we're going to pick up the energy levels because Fanagana says disparity in the energy levels here. Mikel Arteta, come on. Christoph, he knows. FK is on the wind up already. Look, 2 minutes in. Come on, we can't let this guy rest. Tiger Guna 7214 says, morning. FK and fellow Gooners, love from Perth in Western Australia. Do you know, I was having a chat with one of my friends on Twitter just during the week. She was asking around, excuse me, bucket list places to go in the world. She was talking about Australia. Australia is one of my favorite countries. I wish I could go back. I wish I was like 10, 15 years younger and I could do the Great Barrier Reef again and go back to Sydney and to Melbourne and to the Gold Coast. Amazing. Have you been to Australia?
No, I would never.
Just because of the bugs.
the spiders, no.
Snakes,
no. A 26-hour round journey. No, I'm not doing it.
It is sensational. What a great country, man. But there we are. Woo says, mate, aren't you in your 60s? Drip, drop, what on earth? Yeah, I'm closing on my 60s. That's why you don't want to see Unks wearing the fresh garms from the new Arsenal range. Yeah, indeed. Put another shrimp on the barbie. It is a great, great country. And Jonathan says, yeah, that flight. Not so sure. Let's bring in Yembele. Welcome, brother. How are you?
I'm okay, mate. How are you guys doing?
I'm buzzing, mate. Wayne over here needs a little bit of love. How's your week?
I've kind of started getting used to being in back-to-back meetings and being exhausted at the end of the day. I have to find some energy from somewhere, but it is crazy at the moment. The new job is crazy, but it's great. I'm enjoying. I'm loving the energy of the people.
Good. Yeah. And are you surviving the commute? I mean, get this right, Rain. He calls me up one morning randomly. He's like, mate, are you on the platform by any chance? You fancy going in together? I was like, mate, I'm in Birmingham, but I really appreciate the sentiment. It was so nice of him.
Train friends.
Tube
friends.
Oh, please. Like, he wouldn't be going, yeah, where are you, mate? I'm on the platform as well, mate. Please.
Ampalash says, FK, hand over your ticket to Wayne. You never rated it. Listen, the game's the game. That's all I'm going to say. Fanagana is sending Wayne some love while it's in the house. See, we mentioned snakes in Australia, and here he is, King Cobra. Evening, friends. Hope everyone is well. We are well, Wally. Hope you've had a stupendous week. Why is Yem bunking Everton? Yem, you're not going tomorrow. And I hear you've passed your ticket onto your Pokemon dealer.
Hey, he's a top man. So, Suleiman, if you're listening, enjoy.
What are you doing, brother? We're on the home straight. This is the last home game we're playing in 4 weeks, and you've.
Mate, I got commitment. I got commitments. You know, I know you just bugger off whenever you feel like it, but I can't do that.
Come on, man. DJ D10 says 11 of the 12 most poisonous creatures are residents of Australia. I've heard, mate. I'm going to be honest.
The other one is
cannot
FK,
deny that. Do you know? I remember when we were landing in Cairns. And the plane announcer or the steward, whatever, they were all talking about how if you go to a toilet, you have to check the under of the toilet seat. And we thought they were taking the mick. In Cairns, in particular, there is a species of spider that like to live under the toilet seat. So you had to check to make sure before you went for any sort of business. But there we are. Thomas says Yem gets a star for his pro mic setup. Yeah, let's hope it works. Yeah, he's of all the people, he has the fanciest equipment and he has all the issues pretty much every week. Tiger says, just watch the Matidas play North Korea in the Asian Cup.
Matildas.
What's Matildas?
Yeah.
What is
the Australia. It's the name for the Australian women's team.
There you go. Right, the Matildas playing North Korea in the Asian Cup. Caitlin Ford and Cooney Cross played for Australia. Mate, I have no idea.
They are Arsenal players, yeah.
But there we go. Right. There we go. Cooney Cross, absolutely.
FK only turns up when there's some glory hunting to be had.
Of course,
Champions League final. Oh my god, I'm the women's. Oh my god,
he was on the parade bus driving it. I've always been a fan. Always been a fan.
Definition. You look at glory hunter. There's FK going with the women's team. Looking at the Champions League trophy, going like this.
The hustle never ends, boys. The hustle never ends. Anna Varsel says, Yem, Gengar, Skyther, Lapras, Zapdos. What is all
That
this?
does.
What
Yeah,
are we
look at
doing
that classics. You know, that's see. Hand of Arsenal knows as well. Why are
here?
you?
What are these? Are these transfer targets for the summer?
No, these are
What is it?
these are transfer targets for my card collection next.
The Pokemon guy has something on Yem. He's given up about 3 tickets to him in the last month. I'm telling you, Wally, he must have some sort of inappropriate photos or something. I'm not sure, man, but this is, not good. Not good. Tom says, just failed my driving test. But who cares? Arsenal could win the league. Tom, really sorry to hear that, buddy. Was that your first time? Is that your second time? How many
Look,
times?
when you parallel park, make sure
how did you
that
fail?
you line
how many
up.
minors? How many majors? Remember back in the day, I had one minor, right? And that was it. One minor in my driving test. Otherwise, almost perfect. And it was because I didn't look in my mirror before signalling. Who does that?
Listen, Tom. Who needs to drive when Arteta's at the wheel?
Fair dues. Oh, by the way, can I just give you a fact that I learned this week that has
Is it about Arteta?
Absolutely floored me. No, nothing to do with football. Nothing to do with football, right? Now, you guys might know this, but we're probably going to have hundreds of people try this because this is very unusual. I did not know, or I was today years old when I learned that we don't breathe through both nostrils at the same time. You're both trying it now. Only one of your nostrils passes out air at any one time. Feel it. Put your finger, or only one of your nostrils works at one time.
Who found that? Who told you that?
Bro, I'm telling you, I can't even remember where I read it or heard it. But I've been like Googling, I've been reading about it. The human body only uses one nostril at a time to breathe.
That's just really odd, but interesting.
It's a cool fact, right? I've bamboozled you both. I'm telling you, all week I'll be going like just weird. There we go. Mind-blowing fact of the day. There you go, ladies and gents. Are you not entertained on a Friday night? 6:10. Don't come at me with medical facts. I've got no interest in facts, right? Mind-blowing, honestly. You just got a blocked nose, brother. No, genuinely. I'm telling you, if you put your finger under your nose, you can. One nostril does much more work than the other.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean only one is doing. They're both. No, if one is doing more,
only one at a time. I'm telling you. Reminds me of Blue Peter, says Hand of Arsenal. It's called a blockage. But it is mind blowing. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Right, let's rip the plaster off. Bella, you can go first this week for snack check. And ladies and gents, let me know, what are you guys snacking on tonight? Any sweet treats? Any savory treats? What you got? What are you drinking? Let us know in the chat. Yem, what you got?
I've just got a standard Reese's cup. I've just quite fancied it, but it's been in the fridge, which is delightful.
A Reese's cup. What is that again? Is that
one of those peanut butter cups?
Ooh,
you know the peanut butter.
Okay, they're a bit sickly, but they are good.
Then no.
First bite,
you don't want too many.
Is good.
No, you don't want too many of them, but 2 is acceptable. And when it's been chilled,
Okay. Reese's cups in the fridge. Don't approve of that, to be fair. Assad says, lads, give me an Arsenal win from Saliba's backside or our former top scorer own goal. Yes, that would be sweet. Thomas says, nose blowing fact. It has. Honestly, I'm telling you, that fact is just unbelievable. Assad says he's having a Rossamalai, fellas. Elite as F. And I don't know where my water bottle is. Great. Got an hour with you two clowns without any water. There we are. Right. What's this? Denverite says baklava for a pre-dinner You can't be having baklava before dinner, surely.
No, post dinner. It's designed for post dinner.
Wally is having polished. He's polished a bowl of microwave.
What is it?
Popcorn.
No, but is it sweet? Is it sweet or is it salted? Or is it caramel? What has he got?
I'm disappointed in him, actually, because he normally picks up the old M&S bags of popcorn, which are so good. And he's got an M&S right at the end of his street, obviously.
He owns it.
He probably does. Hi, Zakai says a hot dog wrapped in pancake dipped in gravy. Do you know that? Yeah, hot dog with gravy. Yes.
There's no way that's not real.
Hold on. Whoa. Stop. Are we talking about the hot dog sausage in a pancake?
Oh, yeah. I think he means a sausage wrapped in a pancake being dipped in gravy. Yeah, that could work.
That could work.
Yeah.
If it's a savory pancake, well, maybe a sweet one actually could. No, a sweet one could actually work as well. It'd offset. It'd be that bit of a marmite.
AFC
Okay.
Pulse says, all right, guys, I'm having some chewy high chew sweets. All right, Dubbo, calm down. I'm joking. Adajit says, snack check tonight is chicken risala with rice. That is elite. Mike says, I tell you what's mind-blowing, lads. There was a blind guy in the Paralympics who competed in downhill skiing. Are you taking the mic?
Wow.
No, this can't be right.
If he veers off course, that's a real problem. I can't be lying.
How is that even possible?
On the downhill, maybe because you keep straight, don't you? You can. It's just
Mate,
straight, isn't it?
He's blind. No, I need to figure this out.
Got to feel it in the air.
There's
You
a
feel it
few
through
things in the Winter Olympics and the Paralympics that you think, what are we doing here? Why? How did that even get invented as a sport? But wowzers, Mike, if that's true, that's insane. Ampalash is impressed, Yem. Says that's probably the best performance on Snack Check by Yembele. Dave's gone early for Easter. Look at this. Malteser mini eggs. I don't know how to pronounce that first word, chaps.
Stracciatella.
Oh, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, it's like a mama used to make it.
I love it, mate. Love it. Nice Polish accent there, Yembele. DJ D10 says Snack Check is boogers. Now that I'm trying to figure out which nostril I need to breathe and which is just a food resource. I told you, man. I'm telling you, people have had their minds blown today. Bacon corn chowder, says Christophe Michel. Wally's come back and says any flavor of popcorn that's not salted is for deviants.
That's just wrong.
No, that's just wrong, Walid.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's spot on.
No, he's no. Sorry, no.
It has to be salted.
No.
Okay. Do I have any Palestinian Majul dates left? I do. I have the weirdly, I've got a box of Victoria sponge cake here as well. I don't know what that's doing there, but I do have just a shout out to the boys and girls from Zaytun. These are
we picked up some as well.
They are the goated of dates. Karen and Katz is here in the house. Plain milker straight out of the fridge, says Captain Cookie. Can't knock that. Wayne, what you got for us tonight?
I've gone back to our roots, FK, and the second thing we bonded over that wasn't chicken after you unblocked me after I said something mean about your daddy Wenger.
Sounds about right.
The classics, the foxes, the fruit.
Heritage.
So,
What's your favorite flavor?
The best for me, I love the blackcurrant one, the purple one. I do love the blackcurrant one.
Okay.
Although I will say they only tend to fill these packs up with orange nowadays. It's literally just
the best flavor.
Of course, Yemen likes the worst one.
Homer Simpson.
Strawberry.
Oh, enjoy. It says there's someone skiing in front of them with a loudspeaker going beep beep for left and right. I don't know if he's taking the piss, but if that's true, I mean that's even wilder. I mean, what? I'm gonna have to YouTube.
For the on the downhill, so there's someone in front of them, just ahead of them.
That's what he just said.
They would have had to. Yeah, they would have had to go.
I can't visualize it.
They're doing it based on sound.
I can't. I need to see it. John says he's having Walker's Chicken and Thyme Sensations and an Asahi. The Walker's Chicken and Thyme Sensations are so good. High as a Kite says popcorn dipped in warm Pepsi. Anyone? High as a Kite, go away. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing?
Now just turned soggy, wouldn't it? What the? It would be a soggy mess.
I don't know. Christoph says Majul date stuff with peanut butter. I know. Yes. I've heard about this. We've run out of peanut butter. Not had any peanut butter in the house for a few days, but my sister's been eating these throughout this month, so I need to try that. Christoph Assad says I'm going to be in Egypt for the Carabao Cup final. Need to somehow keep the wife preoccupied for 2 hours whilst we watch the match there. Help, Wayne. You
if she's in a hotel, book a massage or something like that. Just go to the spa.
There you go. He's a man with previous. Book a massage. Book her into the spa. He's done it before.
At least you're going to Egypt, Assad, because certain people on this call would have shipped their families to Egypt and stayed here.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. That is exactly what would have happened. Right, let me finish off Snack Check. Lots of elite shouts in the chat. Today I found these in my office. Don't know how old they are. They're still in date, just 31st of March. They are Lindt snowdrops, right? So chocolate snowdrops with a creamy double milk filling. At first, I know now the reason why I didn't eat them. I genuinely mistook them for coconut. So obviously, coconut and chocolate just belong nowhere near the human body.
No, mate. You got no taste, but you got no palate.
Oh, don't start. Apple is banging, says AFC Pulse. Are you having an apple? Is that what you're doing? Very good. Right, let's leave it there. The peanut butter will be on the floor after your Tesco midnight. Oh yes, Tesco guy hasn't turned up yet. ladies and gents, boys and girls.
Why
That
is
a
it every
Tesco
Friday for you?
update.
Why do you go Friday for it?
Just we do it after the swimming. So, once the kids are down, it's a nice, easy time. Kids aren't here, and then you're ready for the weekend, right? So you don't have to wake up on a Saturday and you've got a fresh selection of breakfast options, or for the kids. Yeah, so Tesco guy hasn't turned up. So if the doorbell goes, hopefully my wife hasn't fallen asleep. Freya Easter eggs is a Norwegian staple. That's what someone's having there. There you go. And Anajit says, yeah, definitely speaking from experience there. Book the missus into a massage, into a spa day. Happy days, mate. Happy days. Aidan Ains is in the house. Says, hello. Welcome all. Right, we've got the snack check out of the way. Slightly later than usual, but there is a lot to cover. And we're going to have a really good show tonight. So if you're tuning in for the first time and you're wondering what on earth are we talking about, this is how we do. This is how we do on a Friday on the Late Night Lounge. Very chilled sort of sesh, chilled vibes. Get your questions into us. Get your comments into us. And we will get us through as many of those as possible. And of course, we do have some really, really good content. There's something that's just caught my eye. 1 second. Ejag is having a sandwich with sopressata, salami, mortadella, provolone cheese, arugula, tomato, roasted red peppers, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. I have to admit, I don't know what 4 of those things are, but it sounds unbelievable.
Meat, cheese.
What's there not to like? Meat, good. Cheese, good. Balsamic vinegar, good. I love it. Enjoy it. Noel's having homemade French onion tart. I like that.
Well, we have some very cultured people. I got to say, there's some culture tonight. What is this?
This is what Latte Firm is about. We have a global following. We have cultured people, and you two are the levelers. This is what we do.
Says the man who does salted popcorn. You ultimate leveler.
Let's just get a quick shout out. Get your latte fix now on TikTok. We are approaching 500 followers on that platform. I still don't really know how it works and what's going on, but I'm doing random videos here and there. They're proven to be popular. Get involved. Do follow Latte Firm on socials. And of course, just a quick shout for anybody who wants to support the channel. Refuse to work with betting companies, and any contributions go a long way towards running costs, and it allows me to give back to the Patreon community. So get over to patreon.com/lattefirm or YouTube channel membership, and you can enjoy ad-free content and every now and again exclusive member content. So do get involved. El Perdedor, welcome to the show, says, just having a Diet Coke. I feel uncultured. I haven't had a Diet Coke in years. Pepsi Max all the way. Christoph says that's an Italian hero sandwich in New York, by the way, those fillings that we were just talking about. There you go. Right, let's move away from TikTok and let's talk about what has been a testing week for the Premier League in Europe. Now, chat, I'm going to get your thoughts on what we should be doing as, I guess, a domestic organization, the Football Association. What could they be doing to make life a little bit easier for English clubs so that we can be really strong in these late stages of the Champions League? Wayne, I'm going to start with you with the scores on the right-hand side, courtesy of UEFA. Galatasaray winning in the early kickoff on Tuesday night, 1-0 against Liverpool. Bayern Munich cruising away at Atalanta. Atletico Madrid doing the most funniest thing against Spurs. And this weekend, Spurs are going to get absolutely battered. Could be double digits by the lack of players that they've got. Newcastle drawing at home to Barcelona, and only just Barcelona in the nick of time. Lamine Yamal scoring the equaliser. Leverkusen hosting Arsenal. We had to come from behind for the first time in this tournament this season to salvage a draw ahead of the second leg. Bodo Glimt are doing mad things. They're 3-0 up against Sporting. Paris Saint-Germain smashing Chelsea 5-2, and Real Madrid pumping Manchester City 3-0. Wayne, the media have portrayed this as a really disastrous week for the Premier League, and there's lots of football aficionados that are like, well, this is, Europe is the step up. European clubs are back. What did you make of it all?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by some of the results, to be honest with you. But if you just look at that, only one away win across all of the fixtures. I think it's just very, very difficult to win away from home in Europe. And I think that when you look at all of the English sides, the majority of everyone got through in the top 8. So bar Newcastle. And I think that shows that there is a standard in the Premier League, which is above the majority of Europe. But when it gets to the elite of the elite, that's when the best teams sort of rise to the top. So I was surprised by the score lines, like Chelsea being... I wasn't necessarily surprised by PSG winning, but I was surprised by them battering them 5-2. Spurs are absolutely rubbish this season. Wasn't surprised by Atleti beating them 5-2. I thought from our side, it was a bit of a disappointing performance from us. But like you said, we managed to get the draw at the end. Liverpool have been hot and cold all season. I just think it's something that away from home it's difficult to predict. And you could be the best of the best and slip up a team away from home. Just look at what Bodo Glimt have done to the majority of teams at home in the Champions League this season. So yeah, while some of the scorelines were surprising, and they weren't a little bit closer in some of those games, I just think that at this level, anyone can really beat anyone. And I think the biggest issue for the Premier League moving forward is you kind of need at least two of us to qualify if you want that top 5 spot for the extra Champions League place. Now, I personally don't care. We're not fighting for 5th, so I couldn't care less whether everyone bar us gets knocked out. And I couldn't get less if 5th gets Champions League. But for the Premier League, yeah, you kind of want to hold that coefficient.
Yeah, Manny says Liverpool were unlucky, Spurs were Spurs, City were arrogant, Arsenal didn't turn up. But there is a case to be made about the sheer ferocity and intensity of the Premier League schedule. We don't have that winter break. We have 20 clubs in our league, whereas some leagues in Europe have just the 18. Bundesliga as an example. Jonathan says teams in Europe want to play. Refreshing to watch, honestly. The Premier League is a tough watch usually. What did you make of it all, Yem? And what do you think is a, I guess, solution in terms of trying to let English clubs have the best advantage when it comes to these stages? I mean, we heard stories about Ligue 1 cancelling the PSG game before the weekend, so they were ready for Chelsea, and that sort of extra few days off maybe gives them just that little bit of extra rest to give them the bounce in the game. What did you make of it all, Yem?
Yeah, on the results themselves, a little surprising, but I mean, last year was pretty similar in that the results started to turn in the knockout stages. So you kind of, it's par for the course. And I think Wayne was correct in saying that European teams start to become more efficient and start to become better as it progresses. So a little bit of a surprise. I think our performance was definitely a surprising one. Bayern, again, Bayern look quite an efficient team, and they've got a lot of players back like Musiala, etc. Yeah, I do tend to agree with the fact that the Premier League is too relentless. It's relentless every week. It's with respect to these other leagues and all of the other leagues, there are very few games that are truly high intensity. It's usually the big 2, 3, 4. Every game in the Premier League is so tough. Look at Wolves. Wolves are now doing, making games of everything. So the entire Premier League now is just attrition after attrition. It's relentless. A lot of players are looking really tired. I don't think the Premier League help, and they never have. They never have done. It's always been about the viewing figures. That's the primary driver. I think if the other leagues had this kind of viewing capacity that the Premier League do, I think it would be the same kind of piece because it's too much money. But the Premier League don't help us at all. When have we had a cancelled fixture for Europe from the Premier League? They never do it. It is always TV first, the welfare of the players later on, and be damned about it. You play for the money. And I think that will never change. I think the Premier League is too much of a financial juggernaut that they will change things around. I mean, look, games are rearranged into relentless schedules that don't make any sense to just fulfill the television rights that they have to maintain. It's part of the reason, as Cardiac Cat says, we have large depth now. The Premier League has probably the most depth in terms of squad quality overall from any of these leagues. But fatigue sets in everywhere. Look how many games every team has played. Man City and Arsenal are in 4 trophies. That's partly due to success, but as well, we've been able to rotate better to a degree. But it's coming to bite us. We are looking tired. I think most of us can agree. So will I see it? Do I think the solution will come? No, because I don't believe the Premier League ever will help any of their teams. We're just going to have to get through it somehow. I think we will, but it does worry me when we come up against one of the better teams, in all due respect to Leverkusen.
There are a few shouts in the chat about, look, it's just the first leg and Newcastle were the only English team to play at home, and maybe the second leg will change things. I'll come to your thoughts on who might go through shortly. A couple of suggestions in the chat. about what we can do as solutions. Jizzle McDizzle, sorry, Wayne, to cover you temporarily, says, anyone see the David Dean episode on High Performance podcast? He's been saying for years that the Premier League needs to be reduced to 18 teams. Still no winter break. English clubs play too many games. I mean, we are, the 13th of March, and we're approaching our 50th game in all competitions of the season. V Vlad says, Carabao Cup needs to be only for teams not in Europe. That would help massively. So foregoing the Carabao Cup if you are in European competition. I'm not sure I agree with that, but it's a shout. DJD10 says the Premier League needs to be cut down to 18 teams. That would help a bit with the amount of games, especially for the better teams. O'Malley, welcome, says the Premier League needs to increase the bench from 9 to 11 or 12. That will help a lot. So more stacked squads he's calling for. England isn't getting rid of all the games, but hopefully the Carabao Cup semis is just one game at Wembley. And bear in mind, FA Cup replays have gone, two-legged affairs in the Carabao have gone. They are trying their very best. International football is obviously littered all throughout the season, which doesn't help. Wally's here says the most sensible thing the English game can do is scrap the Carabao Cup. Shots fired. Wayne, I'm going to let you come in on that. Move the FA Cup schedule earlier in the season. One domestic cup competition is enough. Wayne, take the mic.
It just doesn't. It just won't work. It won't work. We're thinking of it from the elite point of view of the top 4, top 6, top 8 sides that are in Europe. The teams that enter in the Carabao, there are 96 league teams or whatever it is, 92, 96, something along those lines. And all of these clubs rely on first round draws against obviously look at Grimsby versus Manchester United this year. They're relying on games like that. It's not necessarily as big or as glamorous as the FA Cup tie, but these teams are relying on it, and if you take that away, there's a chance they're never going to get that tie, because they're not Grimsby aren't likely to make the third round of the FA Cup every year. And just using them as an example, because obviously they played against Man United this season, so it's just not going to work. And we're thinking of it, like I said, from a very elitist point of view, where we're at the top and a lot of our fans find the Carabao Cup an inconvenience. The majority of fan bases don't find domestic trophies an inconvenience. It doesn't matter whether it's the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I think teams that reach this stage have to just get better at using their squads. And we've done very well for the most part, but I don't think we've optimized our squad throughout the whole season as well as we could. A team like Liverpool, they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup early. They had a bad result. Spurs got knocked out of the Carabao Cup early. It hasn't had a positive impact on them in these fixtures. So it doesn't really matter whether you get to the final or you get knocked out in the third round. The results are still the same. And a lot of that is down to the intensity, the quality of the Premier League. In France, in Italy, teams can take weeks off and still win. You can block a game for PSG because you kind of know they're still going to win the league. With ours, 20th can beat first very consistently. 19th can challenge second very consistently. Wins in the Premier League are harder to come by than the majority of these other domestic leagues.
There's some really interesting shouts in the chat, really mixed views. Thomason's here. We were lucky against Bayer Leverkusen. We won't win the Champions League. The football is boring. Even if we win the league, the manager needs to go. You don't get to do that, Thomason. For the longest time, you've been talking about Arteta out because he's not winning the league. If he wins the league, he absolutely stays and he gets to sign a new contract. Come on, man. You can't be doing that. We could have a bench of 15, but Arteta would still only use 3. It is a very salient challenge, to be fair. Well played, Mike. Touche. In terms of the second legs then, lads, those are the scores, as you can see on the screen. As we've just identified, most of these clubs will play at home in front of our own next week. Let's take them one by one. Galatasaray, Liverpool. Expecting Liverpool to turn that round at Anfield?
Yeah.
I am, but there was a stat or something that Liverpool haven't won a knockout tie, or they've only won like one knockout tie at Anfield in the last sort of 8 years or something like that. Even when come from behind. There was a stat going around about their recent results in knockout games at Anfield. So yeah, I think that they will go through because they're a better team than Galatasaray, But
Galatasaray are great disruptors. I mean, look at the Juventus game. It was chaotic, but they kind of like that, don't they? They like creating that kind of game.
Extraordinary tie. Do you remember we were all watching that and the chat was going wild? Anna Larson says Carabao is such a dead comp. Anyone that likes it needs to be cancelled. He knows what he's doing. Finish the Carabao by January. No second legs. I mean, that's already there. Spurs, who are absolutely just the laughing stock at the moment in the Premier League, they are seriously flirting with danger of relegation. 5-2 in that first leg. Comical scenes and expressions. Absolutely magical stuff this week. Have they got any chance? If they score first, might it open up into a tie? Yembele, no, they're absolutely out, are they?
Tudor, I mean, how do you get worse than what was there? I mean, it's happened now.
Well, to be fair, Ange will be back
poor
in
kid
the
in
next
goal,
leg.
Kinski, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was, and he didn't. I mean, the man management. He's already got the squad against him. What a great way to do these. You know, in the first 3 games, you've lost the squad. You're tactically inept, and you can't even set up a team properly. You've got problems already. I think I'd be surprised if he'd lost the weekend.
Okay, so we're all thinking that Spurs are going to go out. Wayne, I'm sure you're not going against the curve there. Wowzers, we've had another really generous donation from Cyrus 1497. Man, he's just gifted 20 Latte Firm Arsenal FC channel memberships. I still don't quite know how they get allocated, but 20 new members. Welcome. You guys in the chat, probably getting them right now. You will be privy to ad-free content, exclusive members-only content with our Patreon members. Welcome to channel membership. And Cyrus, thank you once again for your immense generosity. It means a lot and it goes a very, very long way. Thank you, man. Very, very touched by that. Thank you. Going back to the scores, Barcelona getting one at the death through Lamine Yamal. You would assume Barcelona are now hot favourites for the second leg.
I wouldn't put past Newcastle. They're great disruptors.
I think I said to you guys either in a group chat or on this when the draw was made. I had this feeling that Newcastle were going to beat them, and I don't know why.
Barcelona play that high line. The high line is ridiculous,
and Newcastle have the ability to bully teams, and the physicality, as we know, of the Premier League is one of the big selling points for us. Like Barcelona are by far the better side, but I don't know. It's just like Newcastle can beat teams like that kryptonite. I think Barcelona are favourites, but I wouldn't be shocked if Newcastle went through.
Again, I'm not impressed by Barcelona at the moment. I think Lamine Yamal is a fantastic player, but that's just one of them. There wasn't much about them defensively. They are shocking. They don't know. Again, they're playing this high line, but as soon as it's broken, they can't run back properly. Araujo looks lost a lot of the time.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game. I personally think Barcelona are going to be way too strong for Newcastle. By the way, lots of love for Cyrus. So much generosity for the channel memberships. Thank you so much, and a warm welcome to our new channel members. Thank you. And Cyrus says, good vibes. City will drop points against West Ham. Come on, you Gunners. I hope you're right, brother. I hope you are right. We'll talk about us in just a moment, obviously, and then we'll start looking ahead to the weekend. Chelsea, 5-2, thumped at PSG. LinkedIn Liam not happy with the way they switched off. Enzo Fernandez showing the World Cup badge and then getting pumped. What do we make of that? Chelsea surely can't turn that around at the bridge against the European champions.
They shouldn't, but I wouldn't put it past them because they have got a performance in them. Depending
against
on
PSG,
they're not keeping a clean sheet.
They're not keeping a clean sheet, but
they're not going to beat PSG for what do they? If they concede, they'll need to win 5-1. That's not happening.
I can't see it. I think Chelsea are out. And of course, Pep Guardiola's men, Manchester City. I can't believe he went to the Bernabeu with Haaland and then behind him, Doku, Semenyo, and Savinho. It's like Rodri versus the rest, which I could not believe it. But listen, we need City to turn this round because we need them to play Bayern Munich in the next round. And we need that fixture congestion. Any chance Wayne's not having it?
I don't care. I'd rather they get battered. Honestly, if they go through, great. If they get battered, even better. Like the fixture, I don't care about their fixture congestion. I really don't.
Surely you want more games before the run up against us in April. Come on,
don't care. I don't. Well, no, it's just one more game in the league.
No, but it's a difficult game.
Really difficult games.
Yeah, but look at Leverkusen. Leverkusen was a difficult game for us. There's no such thing as an easy game in general.
Yeah, but we don't want to free up the schedule. I wouldn't want to free up the schedule. I think
I'm done. I'm done looking for help elsewhere. Just concentrate on ourselves.
No, we want help anywhere. Get the help anywhere we can. That's. I don't care. It's a title race.
All right. Well, look. So I take it when I know I get it. We hear you. You don't care. But any chance for City to turn it around? Ramontada incoming?
They've got the best chance of the teams that are losing badly. But I think they've left themselves too much. They've got the best chance out of them, Chelsea and Spurs, though, for sure.
Mike Jones says, I want them to lose. Fuck City. Jonathan says, really wanted City to play Bayern twice. Yembele, any chance an early goal for City? Does that sort of send the shivers down Real Madrid's spines at the Etihad?
I think it does because of Real Madrid. Look, I think they did really well against City, but City set up incorrectly. I think they got a bit too confident. I think at the Etihad, just go with the normal stuff. Pep, just do what you do normally. Just get through. You want to play Bayern. You want to get that.
You're all saying this, and then when Man City go on to win the Champions League, I can't believe
no, they weren't.
Yeah. Look at Wally.
I mean, if they get through, I know I'll come to his chat in a second, but if they get through Real and Bayern, yeah, you have to say City are favourites for the Champions League.
No, but look.
That is a very, very true possibility, Wayne. In fact, I would rather have non-English clubs.
Get them all out. Let us be the only. Let them all go, and we're the only one standing.
Exactly. Wally says fixture congestion is a complete myth. We were playing one game a week in 22-23, while City were in multiple competitions, yet we saw they got stronger with every game.
That's because they bought how many players in the January window, they do every year. Our squad is stacked. We have no excuse. Just a reminder, Cyrus, again, it's not a repeat, but Cyrus, thank you again earlier for your very generous donation to the channel. 20 new memberships, which have now all been grabbed by people watching in the chat. DJ D10 has come back at Wally saying, you are so wrong, Wally at Arsenal. It's interesting. And Jonathan says, looking ahead to that tie, City at 2-0, City 2-0 up, at 70 minutes. It is very possible. We shall see. Abdul, look at this. Everyone's split. City are not coming back. Mark my words, Madrid. They've done it before. So I don't discount anything.
Well, let's wait and see. All right, let's talk about Arsenal. Enough talk about them and chat and snack and all that sort of stuff. We, of course, drew. And for the first time, chaps and chapesses watching, we had to come from behind in this season's Champions League. We scored thanks to a Kai Havertz penalty, which we'll come on to shortly, Yembele. Let's talk about the performance itself in general. They scored from a set piece, which Mikel Arteta was very annoyed about because they tried exactly the same routine 3 times in a row in their last Bundesliga games, which Arteta and the coaching staff showed the boys in footage. So we obviously switched off at the start of that second half, and Robert Andrich scored at the back post. What did you make of the game, Wayne, just overall? I mean, it was a little bit sluggish, a little bit heavy, not vintage Arsenal, but then vintage Arsenal doesn't really mean anything this season. What did you make of the night?
The vintage Arsenal doesn't really exist this season, so I can't really say I was surprised by the performance. Obviously, surprised by the result because I think we're a better side on paper than Leverkusen, and I did think we would go there and win. But I think the performance, I wasn't shocked by. We've seen it. Even if you don't want to consider the whole season, we've seen performances like this basically every game bar Leeds and Sunderland in 2026, and we just seem to be getting through and getting by, and it doesn't matter because we're winning, and especially in the league where there's only 8 games left, if we win every game 1-0, no one will care, but at some point the performances are probably going to come back and bite us, and this feels like one of those opportunities where it did. But for us to come away with a draw is important because Leverkusen, even though coming away at the Emirates, I think at 1-0, they've got a lot more to hold on to. At least now they have to come out and play to try and win the game. But yeah, it wasn't a very good performance whatsoever. Arteta was fuming with that kickoff routine. It wasn't even necessarily the set piece. It was from the kickoff. He was so angry, and rightly so. I think it was everyone sleeping, not alert to the danger. Yuri and Timber kind of jogging out and not denying the cross. I just think, yeah, real disappointment. And I'm now more surprised when we do play good football than surprised when we're not. And I just think I would expect performances like this now for the end of the season, until the end of the season.
Anajit says mental fatigue is kicking in. Need to stay focused and sharp. Time for our characters to rise. And talking of our characters, this is the first talking point, Yembele. All About Arsenal says Saka needs to fix up. He hasn't been our star boy this season. Hero Down Under saying, what has happened to Saka? That's what I'm worried about. And V Vlad, I love him, but that might have been one of the worst Saka performances I've seen. Now, Yem, we know that Saka is our star boy. We know that he carried Arsenal Football Club through so many years of adversity. But this season, 26 matches in all competitions. 26 matches in the Premier League, 6 goals, 4 assists, 4 games in the League Cup, 1 goal. If we look at his Champions League record, 7 appearances this season in the Champions League, 2 goals. The question is quite simple, the exam question, Yem. What is up with Bukayo Saka? Is it a problem? Is it beginning to concern you?
It concerns me in terms of we need him at his best to help us. At his best, he would help us to get over the line in the title race. I'm pretty sure of that. The big issue is look, he had for the first time in his career a massive injury, and it was a massive injury. You know, he tore his hamstring effectively. For a fast player, and I think someone was mentioning it in the news today, for a fast player, that's quite damaging. To get back to that kind of explosive sprint is very difficult and may not happen. As Hand of Arsenal says, there's a lot going on. We don't even take account of the mental side of what's going on. But I will also say that Saka is now our highest paid player. And there is a certain expectation that I would have for that level of player that you should be delivering. And I don't think he has done personally. But again, historically, you can't say that he hasn't, he is the best player at the club. But again, this season, I think like a lot of players, and we can say it about a lot of our players, they haven't been at their what we expect level. Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. It was, look, I'm glad that at least Arteta has mitigated this issue by having adequate cover that can mitigate this. In the past, what we would have done, ran him into the ground until 90 minutes, and then he gets injured, and that's it. There's nothing there. So at least we've mitigated that. But there is a concern. But again, we football is such a fickle thing, and players keep ebbing and flowing. We've seen it with so many players this season as well that it's relentless. And he's played game after game, summer after summer. When is he actually rested? When is he, apart from when he got the injury, he really hasn't had a period out. And this season's not going to be any different because he's got the World Cup coming, and he's integral for England. It's not going to change. It's much of the same. I don't think, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't think he'll get back to his level this season. I think it looks a very laboured Bukayo Saka comparatively to what we've seen at his best.
Lots of people talking about his injury. And Wayne Abdul says here, Saka's not playing at full intensity. He's holding back to avoid further muscle injuries. When did you see him being explosive or running at full speed? That's something that I do share. Jay Dime says it was the injury. We were all telling Arteta to rotate him, and this is the result. And, Wayne, you'll remember, we've talked about Saka for months, like before he got injured, about saying, look, he needs a rest. He's going to have no legs at this rate. Of course, he had that horrific injury down at Selhurst. Took him, 6, 7, 8 months to come back to us. And I have to say, I agree with some of the observations. Like, he's not at his explosive, brilliant best. But, sorry, not but, that's the wrong word. But on the other hand, to Yem's point, he is now our talismanic, marquee player. He is the guy on the highest wages at the club, and there is a level of expectation. What are your thoughts, Wayne?
There is a level of expectation, but I think overall this season, I don't actually think he's been bad. His finishing has been atrocious. Like in front of goal, his shot selection and decision making has been really, really bad. But his overall performances, he's still been fantastic. I think him and Trossard are probably the standouts of the attackers this season. And fair enough, the bar isn't very high. But I actually think his overall performances, barring this Leverkusen game, which I think honestly was his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt ever. I think his overall performances and general play has been actually pretty good. Like, he's creating at a very good level for everyone else. He may not have the assist numbers, but his chance creation numbers are very, very high, and his dribbling looks as good as it was before. He doesn't have that burst. He does play at the moment like he's scared maybe a little bit of getting injured again. And you have to remember, it wasn't only last season's hamstring injury. It was the beginning of the season. I think sort of 4 or 5 games in, he pulled up at home, if you remember, and had to be subbed off. And we were all kind of scared from there. I do think that there is a combination of things. I think it's the fear of getting injured. I think that if we think back to last season, yes, we made the run to the semi-finals of the Champions League. So you can understand why we brought Saka back for that Madrid game. If we are brutally honest with ourselves, we brought him back too quickly. I feel like we rushed him back, and we probably should have given him the rest of last season to just sit down, relax, and come back at the start of this season at fully fit. I'm concerned for the sort of near future, like the next sort of 12 to 18 months, because with the World Cup, I don't think next season he's going to be at his explosive best either. But hopefully with some rest and hopefully with no summer football at some point, he will be able to just recuperate a bit. And I also think that he is being hindered by the way we play football and by the way that we attack. He is at his best when he takes 1-2 touches, can combine quickly, can move off the ball, can link up with Ødegaard, Ben White. Timber isn't really that type of player. Eze is better towards the left-hand side. We don't really get Zubimendi or Rice doing those underlaps or overlaps on the right-hand side. So he's very, very isolated a lot of the time. Even our centre forward, when it's Gyökeres, likes to drift out left. So it's just Saka versus everyone. And I don't think he's capable this season of doing what he's done in the past. So yeah, I think the way that he's being platformed doesn't help, but no, he certainly looks like he's in fear of hurting himself some more when at a sprint.
Well, lots of people talking about a need of rest. The World Cup is going to prevent that this summer if he makes the squad, and of course I expect him to do that. He has played a lot of football. He's carried us for a long, long time, and yeah, maybe now we need to think about his rest. And to Yem's point, the fact that we brought in Noni Madueke as a very capable deputy, and maybe now Saka it is that time to move him into an inside role. But that is something that is going to rumble on. We still have 15, 16 games to go in all competitions this season if we can progress that far, and he's still got a chance to really finish strong. So we're all believing in Bukayo Saka. Hopefully he comes back starting tomorrow. Let's talk about Noni Madueke. We'll talk about Madueke, the player, and whether he should start later in the show. Yeah. Let's talk about whether this was a penalty. Late in the game, 86 minutes on the clock. He came on for the last 20. I thought he looked particularly impressive, more so because I think up until that point, there were, we talked about Bayer Leverkusen in the match preview show, or I talked about them playing with a back three and their fullbacks when they're out of possession. Really, really good. And they sort of gang up in 3s and 4s on both flanks. And that's exactly what they were doing to Saka. But for some reason, when Madueke came on, it felt like he had the energy and the burst and the explosiveness to really just drift past players, as he so often does. And then he goes down in the 86th minute. Was it a pen? Yem, let's stick with you. I've got a couple of stills there from socials. Was it a pen? Because we've been absolutely battered for it.
I think there's a slight touch. Do I think he exaggerated it a little bit? I think he did a little bit. But it is what it is. I mean, again, we've had it done to us before. We have to be, again, it helped us get out of a jam. Is it, in my heart of hearts, is it a penalty? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite soft in the Premier League. I don't think it'd be given. But in Europe, different rules, different ways of playing, and he was the one creating those chances. Again, if it happened to us, I would be pretty angry. And when it went to VAR, I thought I'd probably be turned over, but it wasn't. So again, as you said, he made things happen. That's all you want. Whether he play acted a little bit, do I care? As an Arsenal fan, no, not really, because it got us what we needed to, which was a point to get out of there. So it is what it is.
Cyrus, I think, is spot on. It is soft, like you just said, Jem, but the defender does make a reckless challenge from behind. Like Madueke's already past him. That is a desperate challenge with the right foot. You can see him trapping Madueke's left foot there. And then, of course, Madueke's left foot gets trapped under the defender's body. Now, albeit for a split second, and the contact is faint, but there is contact. And everyone's saying, look, it is a penalty. And Jizzle Madizzle says, I have to admit, if that penalty was given against us, I'd be fuming, but it was a pen. Wayne, your thoughts?
He exaggerates the fall massively, but it's a penalty because of the contact. I think there's contact twice on his foot. It's his favoured foot. If there's no contact, you never know if he gets a shot off, if he plays it across goal and there's a goal that way. And how many times have we seen our players take contact, not fall down, and not get a penalty? I think Madueke said it best in his interview after the game. I felt the contact and I went down. Good. Because if you don't go down, you're not going to get the penalty, which you should do. And I'm not going to care about what media and rivals say about this a penalty. Everyone remembers us versus Bayern Munich when Saka got absolutely clattered by Manuel Neuer at the Emirates, and we didn't get a penalty for that. That was a stonewall penalty as anyone has ever seen. And we were told, oh, no penalty. Saka ran into him. We were told this season, Gyökeres, no penalty. He ran into him. Okay, we've got one now, so just leave us alone.
And it's funny, isn't it? I mean, we were watching the Brighton game, and I think there was a moment when Minte went through, and he could quite easily have gone down from that Christian Mosquera challenge, but he didn't. And that's exactly the point there, Wayne, that if you're a player and in that late in the game and you've made that desperate sort of lung bursting run into the box, any sort of contact, you are taken the fall, because you need the ref to make a decision. And speaking of the ref, O'Malley, thank you again for your very generous donation to the channel. Really appreciate it. Says the ref was out of his depth all game. I mean, Andrick could have been off after just 4 minutes.
Red, of course, yellow cards for nothing, effectively.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Cyrus says, I'd be fuming if one of our defenders made such a stupid challenge like that so late in the game. I think you're absolutely spot on, mate. I think, like I say, it's a desperate lunge at best to try and stop someone doing something late in the game. And that is what it is. And I'm really glad that VAR didn't overturn it. I mean, the difference in officiating, I would say, final thing on this, and it kind of is a nice segue to Kai Havertz. The referees are so different to what we're used to in the Premier League that takes a bit of getting used to. And there was a sort of goalmouth scramble, I think, for one of our set pieces where Havertz is clearly being dragged by the defender. Havertz gets booked. And it could be a booking like that sees Havertz miss a really important game at some point in the rest of the competition. I think it's farcical.
That referee, the referee was getting on his high horse the whole game for no reason at all.
Indeed. We're going to talk about the image on the right-hand side in just a second, but that was Kai Havertz's run of games 2 years ago in the 22-23 season when we were flying. And you can see his prolific return in terms of goals and assists against those clubs. But the headline is that he came off the bench to score against his former club, didn't celebrate, did the whole Arsenal FC thing, but he scored from the spot. And I guess the key topic here, chaps, is he's back. And boy, do we need him. Wayne?
Yeah, we do, because we don't look like we can function as an attacking force without him when he's not there. This season, in the limited time that he's played, he's made Gyökeres look better in the Kairat game, and playing just off him in the lead in the second half against the Leeds. He makes our other attackers look better by playing up front by himself or combining with our wingers. He's just such a special player that has had a major impact on our attacking play for the duration of his time that he's been up front, really. He's been a huge miss due to injuries. Yes, we need him, but we also need to be very realistic. He's missed a lot of football, and the ask for him to come in and play potentially all 17 games if we get to the final of every competition and go all the way to the end of the season in the league, the ask of him to potentially play at that level, at that standard every 3 days, I don't think is realistic. So yes, we do need him, but we also need to make sure that we don't overdo it too quickly, because we need him in April, we need him in May as much as we need him now.
Absolutely agree. Could not agree more. Big 2 months, and if he can't play football every sort of 3-4 days, then Arteta's got to use him sparingly and cleverly. Manny says, wasn't happy that Kai took the penalty. Thought it was a bit too emotional for him to take it. It was a good penalty in the end. Keeper did dive the right way but missed it. And Yem, Jonathan says, Kai, give us 2 months, please. What sort of impact, Yem, could Kai Havertz have? I mean, if he stayed fit and played the remainder of our fixtures, is that as almost as certain as you could be about winning the Premier League trophy this year?
I think it certainly enhances it, because his quality alone can increase this attack twofold almost. I think he's that creative, that clever in his movement. It's something we lack with Gyökeres. I think we all can appreciate that. Gyökeres is a very different player, but Kai Havertz gives you something completely different. And if you play him with Gyökeres, it's great. I think, as Wayne said, it's keeping him fit and keeping him sharp. That's the problem is that balancing act between sharpness and fitness is going to be so hard to manage, because the games just keep coming, and it clearly does look like we're managing him on, he's got concerns, obviously. I think he's got an ankle concern that is ongoing by the sounds of it. But we need him, but how desperate do we get? Because this is the problem. We've been desperate in situations before, overplayed somebody, and we've done it with him as well, and then he's broken down. So I don't expect him to play every minute of every game of the run-in. I think he will be used sparingly, but I think, as you both said, it'll be key where he starts games. I would expect the majority of the fixtures he will be involved. How many of them he will start? Probably the Man City game. I don't think this weekend he'll start. I can't see him. Look, Everton's a tough ask, but I don't think if you put it on the list of priorities, would you put him there? I don't think so, because again, you have to make sure that he's going to be fit for the big one, that full run-in. We're not there yet. It's coming up quickly, but from April onwards, then you want him full speed, bang into the whole thing, because we just need his quality. We're lacking so much quality in the attack at the moment.
I disagree with that point there, Yem, about priority. Everton is the priority. And I would rather Kai starts against Everton and maybe doesn't play against Leverkusen. I think the gap in quality between the Premier League and the Champions League is a bit wider for our squad. I think we can, at home, I would expect Gyökeres to have a better time of it against Leverkusen than against Everton. We've seen how he goes up against Premier League defenders this season. It's not a pretty sight. In the Champions League, he gets a little bit more space and he can do a little bit more, hopefully, at home against Leverkusen. And then you've got the Man City Cup final. So if you're thinking about Kai Havertz potentially playing once a week, I think you're looking at Everton. You skip Leverkusen or maybe give him 15, 20 minutes if you absolutely have to. And then you play him in the cup final. You play him in the cup final against Man City. My biggest concern really is the fact that now he is back and playing 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, starting here and there. He's going to be called up for Germany. That is my huge concern.
He already has, hasn't he? Hasn't he? They've already said, I think he's already been said, hasn't he, that he's been called up, hasn't he? Musiala. So.
Yeah, look, probably. I mean, they've got the World Cup around the corner, so the international coach is going to want to see where his fitness is at and, get him back up and running. But I think, as Hannah Varsel said earlier, we've got to manage him surgically. Kai is the glue, and that was the point that I was going to make before Wayne came back in. For me, it's not really about Kai's quality as a footballer. I think it's more about his intelligence and the role that he plays and the connectivity between some of our midfielders and our forwards. And we all remember how he was sort of, square peg in round hole into that sort of left eight. It didn't quite work at the start of his Arsenal career. And then he showed his intelligence up top and how he drops deep and covers the most distance for a forward and all that sort of stuff. And of course, he was also running to that ground, that game against Newcastle, where he was knackered and he did his hamstring. And I think for us, I like the Havertz at left eight behind Gyökeres solution. I think we have a lot more central progression. Like we saw the horseshoe of death return against Leverkusen. We know Ødegaard struggled there. We know Eder struggled there. Maybe Havertz is that option. And funnily enough, when Havertz came on as a sub, I remember seeing the fourth official board up, and it was, of course, for the Leverkusen. I thought he was coming off for Eder, and I thought, wow, Mikel, that's really bold. Like you've gone for Havertz at left eight, Gyökeres up top. That could go into a 4-4-2. You're chasing a goal. Brilliant. Then, of course, it was our substitution. It was poor old Gyökeres who did come off, and then Havertz goes on. And he scored the pen. Very, very happy. I mean, I think I'm with you. I think Havertz has got to be wrapped up in cotton wool for the Carabao Cup final. I probably would also see him off the bench 15, 20 minutes against Leverkusen. If he is fit, if he can start, maybe get an hour out of him tomorrow. Or let him come off the bench. I think Victor will quite enjoy that tomorrow. I think he'll quite enjoy Tuesday as well. But yeah, Kai Havertz, big player. And look, you can see it. That's the graphic from social media. Look at the impact that Kai Havertz had a couple of years ago in that running where we pushed City right to that final weekend. Goals against Burnley, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brentford. Didn't score against City, got an assist against Luton, goals and assists against them. Brighton had a couple of games without anything, couple of goals against Chelsea, Spurs. I mean, that is prolific. And if he can grab the final sort of 10, 12 games for us, what an impact this guy could have, honestly. Really, really excited. Mike says Havertz has to start if possible. We played our best football with him, and that's probably the best way to leave this topic. Right, we're over the hour mark. Still to come, we will look ahead at the Barclays action this weekend. Massive weekend for Arsenal. Hosting Everton tomorrow at 5:30 at the Emirates. Gosh, it's good to be back, isn't it? And of course, if we win that, then it's temporarily 10 points clear ahead of City, who play West Ham at the London Stadium. Nuno Espirito Santo, what you got for me, boss? What you got for me? So where does it leave us at the moment? It's a gargantuan month, chaps. The next 4 fixtures, look at this, courtesy of Now_Arsenal. Everton at home tomorrow. Leverkusen also at the Emirates, but on Tuesday night. And then we've got a 4-5 day rest as we look ahead to the League Cup final in Wembley, which is also another London fixture. Meanwhile, of course, City go away to West Ham after their trip to Madrid. They've been travelling to London tomorrow. They'll be back at City for the return leg against Real Madrid, and then back in London next weekend for that cup final. We have a chance, as I've just said, to go 10 points clear, to progress to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which would be amazing, and of course to win a trophy. And I've got to share the news. We're on our way to Wembley. Who doesn't want to see 2 old dads mic'd up and on camera for the EFL. We are going to be given a mic to capture all of our sort of reaction during the game. I was umming and ahhing about whether to do this or not. We put it out on the socials and Patreon groups, and everyone was really kind and saying, yeah, go for it. Why not? It's just going to capture us on a match day. You offering me some Mentos. And that's about as fun as it's going to get. But we are going to do that, and we will be at Wembley. Well, some of us, because Wayne's got no time for the Carabobbins. Obviously, utter woke nonsense in his mind. Have you got a ticket yet, Wayne? What are you doing about it? Are you trying desperately? Are you looking every day?
I am. Of course I am. I may have made some friends on the dark web to help me out a little bit. I've spoken to the chat and asked for the blueprints to get into Wembley through underhand means. I may have bought a steward's outfit that could hopefully get me in. I've got a guy making me a fake ID. I'll be there somehow. I don't care how. I don't care when. It won't be you mic'd up. It will be me, because I would have kidnapped you and taken your ticket.
Well, so if you don't get to go, what are your plans? Are you gonna
not watching it? I don't care. I'm just gonna sit in darkness, and just sit in my shower and just let it drop on my head like just upset and painful. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe the Emirates do a screening. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Have you tried all the city memberships and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, but they sold out as well, I think. So
they haven't got any fans. How are they selling out?
They gave it to Oasis. Started throwing out tickets at their recent concert or whatever, probably.
Well, there we are. So look, I mean, keep looking, I guess. Keep trying, and if you're gonna
make sure when you're on mic, tell them how much you hate the Carabao Cup. Go on, be brave.
We love it. We love it. You know what?
We love it. Always rated it. First time in the season. It is the one that drives us on.
Tell them how much you didn't care. Tell them how much you didn't want
to
be there.
Look, wait, you're miscommunicating. Look, this is gross defamation. We have loved the Carabao Cup. It is a quality competition that we've got to the final, and it deserves our support. And we will be there for that.
Absolute shambles.
Wayne has got 1 week to get a job.
Do you remember the Spurs guy that was on top of the stadium doing the drums or whatever? Don't they do like a rendition on like some trumpets before cup finals? I'm gonna be the odd person on the trumpet.
Yeah, you could even sing the national anthem.
I don't think I could. No, I don't think I could.
Okay. Abdul saying Wayne maybe could be a steward. You
Food
could sell
vendor.
the big issue. Oh, what's this? Breaking. Something happened.
Oh, what Wayne is head of Arsenal talking about the ticket?
Yeah, he's got breaking. He's got me a ticket.
No. Is it something happened on socials? What's he talking about?
I'm not seeing. I don't think so.
Odegaard, is it? What?
Nothing has come up. No.
Abdul says Carabao deserves Wayne. Thomas says best cup ever. Asif's praying for you. Inshallah, Wayne gets a ticket. I can confirm. Hand of Arsenal, my friend. I don't know what is it. I don't think he's. I don't think he's got you a ticket. Wayne.
I don't think he has.
But I have.
What?
I have, Wayne. I've got you a ticket, brother, and you are coming to Wembley next weekend.
Oh,
and you'll be with us.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
No, don't do me like this.
No, I'm serious.
Don't do me
I'm
like
serious.
this.
I'm serious. The Hand of Arsenal exclusive is that Wayne will be going to the Carabao final at Wembley Stadium next Sunday. I could not have you, man.
You should have done it right at the last minute. You should have let him in the pitch at the last minute.
Mate.
I don't know what connections you have and how you pull these things out of the bag. I really don't. But thank from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. Let me know how much I owe to wear and what I need to do to make sure you're not messing with me.
Is it too cruel to say I was lying? Am I too deep? No,
I'd leave this call. I'd leave. I'd genuinely leave.
No, I got you a ticket, Wayne. I'll be honest with you. It's been so hard to keep it a secret. I was tempted to tell you next Friday, but I was worried that you might actually get a job as a steward. You might actually end up selling the burgers at Wembley just to try and get into the game. But you have got yourself a ticket, and you will be watching the game at Wembley,
Wow.
watching City take on Arsenal. That is courtesy.
We
of
better
Latte
better
Firm.
bloody win now.
Yeah, you better bloody, right? You bloody right. You better.
Thank you.
Hand of
Thank
Arsenal
you
was
so
in that
much.
as well. He tried to build up the old hype with me.
I appreciate you
But
guys.
yeah, you are
Thank
going,
you.
man. You are going. Aiden says, "Oh, everyone's really happy for you."
Carabaos
Look at
are
his
on me,
face.
lads.
Look at
Carabaos
his
are
face.
on me.
No one can get Carabaos anyway.
I will get Carabaos. Don't worry. We will be high off Carabao somehow.
Yeah, we need to actually drink them. There is the bomber, courtesy of Hand of Arsenal. Breaking news. Wayne
I don't
will be
care about
going.
Everton anymore.
Well, stay grounded, because we still have Everton to look forward to. But yeah, thanks a lot, chat. You've been really, really amazing. Sort of no one knew. I've known for a while, Wayne. I have to be honest with you. I've been enjoying winding you up on WhatsApp. I know you've
That's
been stressing.
disgraceful. That's so disgraceful. And you know what really got what got to me this week
What?
was there were people that had still been entering the ballot, and there was maybe about like 250 tickets left. And I was seeing a lot of people like, oh, I got an email yesterday. I'm managing to get a ticket at the end, and I was there refreshing my emails, and it was just like, okay, I'm not me then.
Bless
Not
you,
me
mate.
then.
Bless you. Look at the energy he's got now, eh, chat? At the start of the show, he was so glum.
I've just had a can of Carabao, basically. That's why I'm buzzing.
Text your boy Met that you're going. Rub it in. Well, he's busy playing his WWF. The Wayne Bomber for the Carabobbins. The Carabomber. There you go. There is the Carabomber.
There we go. The Carabomber
for Arsenal.
No,
Hand of
thank
Arsenal.
you,
What a great moment. No, but Wayne, honestly, it's been you've been such a joy to be doing these shows with, man. And I couldn't go to Wembley without you, man. So yeah, you're coming.
Thank you.
Right, let's move on to more regular football content. Let's talk about going into match week 30. This is where the league left off after, of course, that 1-0 win away for Arsenal at Brighton and Forest doing the magic at the Etihad Stadium. This is how it leaves the table after match week 29. 30 games on the board for Arsenal, 67 points, 7 points clear of our rivals. They, of course, have that game in hand. Manchester City in second. 29 games played for them, and a goal difference negative 5 inferior to ours. That surely counts as an additional point. The rest of the table is, well, as it looks, Manchester United, the dizzy heights of third for them. Unai Emery's Aston Villa still vying for a Champions League spot. Gosh, it feels like ages since the last Premier League game. Chelsea are in fifth. They, of course, announcing Reece James, a new 6-year contract for the boy born in Cobham. Liverpool are in sixth. Liverpool play Spurs this weekend, Brentford in seventh, and our opposition for tomorrow, Everton, who are flying in the Premier League. David Moyes has done a great job. They are 8th in the league, but they are the second most informed team away from home since the start of the new year, which is going to be quite interesting. The fixtures, courtesy of the Premier League, is as on screen. It's the title push this weekend. A win against Everton is absolutely massive. Look at these people. Group hug, everybody. DJ 10 says, congrats to Wayne, by the way. You deserve to see us win that trophy. And Cyrus, thank you. He says he's got to run. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Come on, you Gunners. Cyrus, thank you again so much for your very, very kind donation of 20 channel memberships earlier on. Really, really appreciate that. Have a great weekend, my friend, and I'll catch you in the match reaction tomorrow. These are the fixtures, chaps. What a weekend it is. I'm going to come to you, Yem, to just get your mood ahead of this weekend. But Burnley host Bournemouth tomorrow in the B derby at 3 p.m. Sunderland host Brighton. Hertzler, of course, coming out talking about time wasting, and they're playing Sunderland away. That's going to be interesting with Coyote in their throw-ins. Is it Coyote at Sunderland? Or is he at Brentford? Who's the guy at Sunderland? Does the long throws. Mukiele. Arsenal play Everton at 5:30, and weirdly, Chelsea play Newcastle also at 5:30. West Ham hosting Manchester City at the London Stadium at 8 p.m. What a gorgeous Saturday night that could be. On Sunday, Palace play Leeds. Manchester United host Villa. That's third versus fourth. What a cracking game that proves to be at Old Trafford. Forest taking on Fulham and Liverpool taking on Spurs. My God, what an amazing Sunday of Barclays that could be. Imagine we win. Imagine City drop points. And imagine watching United, Villa, and then Liverpool Spurs. Absolutely tremendous. And then the weekend, the icing on the cake, whatever cake that is, Brentford are hosting Wolves. Rob Edwards' Wolves, who are on the surge. Yambele, what's your mood going into the fixture tomorrow? First time back at the Emirates in a while, and it's a league game. Are you excited?
No, I'm more nervous anyways. We're now into the business end. I just need 3 points. I don't care how. Don't care how you do it. Just get 3 points. It's all about wins. Because again, we would love to see West Ham do something against Man City. Ain't gonna. The money is it ain't gonna happen. City have got a lot of weapons. That they're probably pissed off against what happened against Madrid. They'll come out flying. West Ham are diabolical at most of the time. They've got better a little bit, but it's not great. We just need to keep picking up points. That's all that matters now. Don't care how. It's going to be an awkward game tomorrow. As you said, Everton have got one of the best away records in the league. They're going to be a tough outfit. They're going to make it physical. They're going to make it dirty. We just need to. The only caveat is that Jack Grealish is out, who's their little bit of spark of creativity. But it's going to be a dirty, dirty game, and we don't play well either. So it's going to be really dirty tomorrow.
Jonathan says Everton is such an ugly team. I dread Premier League games. Somerville being out for West Ham is big, says Asif. And Wayne, I mean, look, any chance West Ham? They couldn't, could they?
They could. They absolutely could. They've been playing better recently. I think everyone expects, obviously, Manchester City to go there and win. But as we've been saying for months now on this show, winning away from home is difficult for absolutely everyone in the league. And Manchester City don't have the best away record as it is. Weird things happen when you're fighting for your life down at the bottom. I don't really think that many people would have predicted West Ham to get a result against Fulham as recently as a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, the London Stadium isn't really the most intimidating of places to go. Like if it was, say, for example, Sunderland in that position and Manchester City were going to Sunderland and Sunderland were fighting for their lives, you would feel, there's a bit of intimidation there because their crowd would be up for it and they'd be really, really loud. The London Stadium isn't really like that, but it won't be an easy game for Man City at all. I expect them to come through, but yeah, they absolutely could. They've got a puncher's chance.
Well, the media speculation, and Hand of Arsenal's just confirmed it. City were dejected in the changing room, pure silence and despair after that result in Spain. Now, I remember when they conceded the third, I tweeted very quickly, pray for West Ham at the weekend, because you feel sorry for the team that City are playing next, but they are not the same City. And maybe a result like that does manifest in their mind. And yeah, maybe they go to West Ham, who have been enjoying, a little bit of a resurgence in recent weeks under Nuno. It's not the easiest game, like Wayne says, Yem. Away games are tough to win, and they're going to have to go there and earn the points.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, look, no game. We looked at Wolves at the start of the season and said this is they're going to be beaten every week. Now look at them; they're one of the toughest fixtures to go to. West Ham, as Wayne said, they have a puncher's chance. The Premier League is competitive. What it's going to take is West Ham putting in probably the performance of the season, because City have got weapons on the pitch, on the bench. Again, we know what's going to happen. They're going to pass them to death, and then they're going to, it's about concentration with West Ham. As someone mentioned in the chat, Somerville being out is massive because he's been their player of the season by a long way. He's been really, really good. Up front, they lack a little bit of something without him. Jarrod Bowen's a good player, but again, they don't have a central striker who I think of any note who's any good. But as we've all said, the relegation battle is so tough, and getting form into the relegation battle is key. Actually, you look at Spurs; they're spiraling like a stone, whereas the other teams are picking up those important, crucial wins to get the momentum. So, again, as Wayne said, there's a puncher's chance tomorrow. The smart money is that City will turn up and they will get the win, but never discount anything in the Premier League.
No, you can't. West Ham have confirmed that Somerville will be out with a calf injury for tomorrow's game against Manchester City. City have confirmed that Erling Haaland is fit to play at the London Stadium. But like you say, in West Ham, they are in 18th place. Any sort of good result against City tomorrow night, and they could climb out of the relegation zone. So those are the fixtures. And now let's look ahead to the game that is at the Emirates, Arsenal versus Everton. It's a massive, massive chance for us to make our title push, as I've sort of said in the thumbnail. This is our recent form. Really good sort of run of games for Arsenal, winning the North London derby after that draw at Wolves, then beating Chelsea at the Emirates, winning away that night that was so glorious, winning away at Brighton, and Forest, of course, doing the damage at the Etihad. Then, of course, winning away at Mansfield Town in the FA Cup with a heavily rotated team, and the draw midweek against Champions League opposition Bayer Leverkusen. Everton, on the other hand, a bit hit and miss, 8th in the table, but they have won away at Fulham. They then lost at home, weirdly enough, to Bournemouth, lost at home then to Manchester United, but picked up their away form by winning against Newcastle 3-2, which was a very impressive win, and most recently beating Burnley at home 2-0. Wayne, what's your mood ahead of tomorrow's game? Are you expectant? Are you optimistic, confident, calm, nervous, terrified? What's your thoughts?
I'm confident at home because we're the best side in the league at home. We've got a fantastic record there. We have rarely dropped points at home this season in general. And whenever there's been a somewhat negative result, we tend to bounce back quite well, a bit better than we have done in recent history. We have to respect Everton, especially 2026. Their away form has been fantastic. And for, again, going back to the point of the away results and how difficult it is to pick up points away from home, they've done a very, very good job of it. And I think playing away from home, especially at a team like us, is going to suit them. They're going to not want the ball. They're going to want to probably get out and run on the counter. They'll want those transitions. They'll make it very, very difficult for us. And we've had trouble against David Moyes' sides in the past. When he managed West Ham, they gave us nightmares, particularly at the Emirates. They always had a good game plan. But I think I don't think they're going to come to us to look for the draw or just to sit back and lose. They've got aspirations to finish in Europe. They're not too far from Liverpool at the minute. And there's a real opportunity with the way that Liverpool have played this season that they could finish above them. So, yeah, we're going to have to pay them respect, but confident at home. And I just think that right now, performances are completely irrelevant to anything in the league. We've got 8 games left, 7 wins. We're Premier League champions. Just get your win and let's go home.
Indeed. Indeed. DJ D10 says, let's just win, then everything is okay. Hundreds of you watching live, by the way, live on YouTube. If you're enjoying the content, tuning in for the first time, please do, of course, subscribe to Latte Firm, get involved in socials. If you are, of course, interested in supporting the channel, either sign up as a channel member or head over to patreon.com/Latte Firm for exclusive content, access to match giveaways and tickets and all that sort of stuff. And also just to be able to support the channel for the price of a coffee a month. Just a couple of things on Everton. Gabby Jesus is our leading goal scorer against Everton with 8 goals in 15 games against the Blues. He's unlikely to get much game time tomorrow, though. However, Everton, like you say, Wayne, since David Moyes arrived last January, they have the second best record on the road in the league. Second, of course, to Arsenal. And I would also add, they don't mind surrendering the ball. Because Everton have averaged the lowest amount of possession of all Premier League teams in away games this season. So expect Arsenal to have a lot of the ball, which is something that we're used to, but we need to make sure that we take our chances as and when they come. In fact, it would be nice just to create chances in the game. So on screens now, courtesy of now_Arsenal, you can see our starting lineup against Brighton just over a week ago. I guess conversation points are Kai Havertz. Does he maybe start? Noni Madueke, does he deserve to start after his 20-minute cameo against Leverkusen? And, you know, what for players like Miles Lewis-Skelly and sort of fringe players? Norgard, do these guys come into a game like tomorrow? Wayne, let's stick with you. I mean, before we go through the team like we normally do and get the predictions from the chat, are there any squad players that you'd like to see or have a conversation about to edge some of these players that you see on the left-hand side of our screen?
I think Madueke has to start, but I'm not of the opinion he starts ahead of Saka. I think one of them needs to play on the left-hand side because obviously reports were saying Trossard missed training. I don't think he'll be back. Martinelli and Madueke, there's not a balance there really when you play Martinelli and Madueke and Gyökeres. I never want to see that front three again. I never really want to see Martinelli and Gyökeres again together. I think Kai, if he's in a position to start, should start. And I also, look, I think we're kind of beyond the point of having the conversation about Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think whatever Arteta has got in his mind at the minute, whether it's he's not training hard enough, he's not defending well enough, he's not dueling physically enough, or whatever it might be, Arteta's made that mind up. And we kind of know when he's made his mind up like that, there's very, very rarely a turning point, especially at this point in the season. So as much as I would like Lewis Skelly to start, I don't think it's going to happen. We need to have balance at fullbacks. We can't have Timber and Hincapié together. They're just too similar at what they do. And they do what they do very well, but there's no balance there. So I think the partnerships either need to be Hincapié and White or Timber and Calafiori, because they bring a little bit of difference. So I would like us to see, I'd just like to see a balanced lineup, because I feel in 2026 we've not really seen that at all this season, so far this year, sorry.
Well, we can have a lot of the ball tomorrow. So I expect us to be playing outside the Everton box and really trying to control and take the game to them. The question is whether we can beat what is, I think, going to be a very sort of stubborn low block with the likes of Tarkowski, Jordan Pickford, of course, in goal, who seems to have the game of his life in the sort of big televised games. Lots of people sort of shouting for Noni Madueke, need him against Everton, maybe Saka to be played in that central role, maybe Saka to go onto the left and Madueke on the right. Who knows? Yem, let's start with you then. So look, in goal, I think it's obvious David Raya has to play, has to start. I don't think that's even a debate. But what are you doing about fullbacks? Wayne just sort of said, he likes those pairs. Would you go with Timber? Would you be tempted to bring in Ben White? He's passed his fitness test. He's been pictured in all the pre-training snaps today at Colney.
Timber does need a rest because he looks pretty tired in most games at the moment. If Ben White was fit, match fit, yeah, I would, but he's not match fit. He hasn't played for, 4 or 5 games. I would probably start Timber and Calafiori, as Wayne said. I think he's right that both Timber and Hincapié are very good fullbacks, but they don't offer anything when they're together because, again, they don't really roam forward and create enough. I think Calafiori provides that little bit of chaos, and you kind of need that now with Everton looking to sit deep tomorrow. I think, it's... The other question is Mosquera as well for Timber, just as something different, but...
It's not a bad shout.
It isn't, but... So who's up front for Everton? It's Thierry Barney, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Thierry Barney.
Yep.
Mosquera struggled a bit against players with pace and with a bit of power. He seems to struggle a little bit at the moment against that kind of player. I think it will be Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, and I think Calafiori for me tomorrow in the defence.
Okay, so Saliba, Gabriel at the back. Wayne, I think you're in agreement with that. With hopefully Calafiori and Timber or White and Hincapié. In midfield, Zubimendi didn't quite look at the races again on Wednesday. I say Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon. I mean, he may as well start playing games at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. But yeah, Zubimendi, Rice. For me, I'd quite like to see Eza play left. I'd quite like to see Kai Havertz play left 8 alongside Rice and Zubimendi behind Gyökeres. Yem's shaking his head. What are you doing in midfield, Yem?
Eze should not be playing. I thought he was actually pretty woeful.
You can't not have a creator.
No, but you can go with Kai.
Played without Eze and Erdegaard.
Kai Havertz can start there, but I thought Eze was actually pretty poor, and he's been poor for a while. Culpable for the goal, looked for the foul, and is pretty weak in the challenge. He's been culpable for a lot of that, actually. He lacks the kind of bite to... He doesn't put himself into the challenge. He kind of ducks out of it, and I worry about that, especially in a team like ours, because it's always... That set piece, he kind of went down really easy and was looking for the foul, and he shouldn't have really done that. I thought that was pretty poor from him. And he's had those moments. Aston Villa, Cash, let him through. Was angry with himself, but again, every time I see him, he just looks weak in the challenge and doesn't really put the maximum effort in that challenge or the press. For me, he's good, obviously, at the edge of the box, but the rest of the game, he looks like he's directing people rather than actually going for the press, which I think is kind of falsifying what he should be doing. He should be pressing, and I mean maybe the Erdegaard effect is there, but he needs to do more in that respect. So against Everton, yeah, you need the creativity, but I can also see that he will be the one that will get pressed against and broken against because he'll make it. He just doesn't do enough effort in the what Arteta calls those those must-haves. He doesn't do enough there, and I think that's why Arteta doesn't trust him enough.
So no Eze for you.
I'd put
Rice,
Kai
Mendy,
Havertz.
and Havertz. Okay.
Yeah, I
Wayne,
think I
what's
would
your
go
middle
that.
three?
The same midfield three as a Zubimendi and Rice. I would just hope that there's again, this is more a wish, and I know it's not realistic. Just stop using Eze on the right hand side of the three. It doesn't suit him. He's better on the left hand side. Or if you are going to use him on the right hand side, allow him to interchange a lot more with Saka. Like, let Saka float in and Eze can go out. If you've got Madueke, if you go with Madueke, Eze, and Saka as like three of your front four, they can be so fluid. Madueke can pick up positions on the left. He can pick up positions on the right. Same with Saka. Just let them all float around. But I think we know our system and our setup well enough by now to know that that's probably not going to happen. Either way, that would be the midfield three that I would start. I know that some fans have asked for Lewis Skelly to play in midfield. We're not going to experiment with 8 games left in the Premier League season. Yeah. I think the only time we might now see it between now and the end of the season is away at Southampton. And even then, I don't think we will. So yeah, I think that midfield three will be the midfield three.
Okay, well, I would go with the midfield that Yem picked. I'd go with Rice, Zubimendi, and Havertz, and I would go Eze on the left, primarily because of what was just said in the chat. I think it was from V Vlad who was saying that Martinelli and Trossard have been. So I know he won't do it, but this is my team, my 11. I would go Eze on the left and not Martinelli and Trossard, but I think he will play Eze through the middle, and he'll play probably Trossard on the left hand side. So you're forward three, chaps. Trossard's not fit. So it has to be Martinelli, I guess.
That's it. That's the only component that could change is Madueke in for Saka. As Wayne said, he could be bold and put Saka to the left.
When we signed Madueke, his first couple of games were on the left wing, and Arteta said in his press conferences, Madueke said in their press conferences when they were signed, "Oh, I can play on the left, I can play on the right, I'm comfortable doing it." We saw Madueke with stints on the left as soon as he came in. There's no reason why he can't play left wing now.
So here's my thing. Why do we not interchange our wingers as much? They're talented enough. And I find it really galling that Arteta doesn't have that kind of spark to say, look, if Saka's not doing it on the right, stick him to the left and for a few minutes, see what happens. Keep it interchanging so that the defenders don't get comfortable. This is the problem. It's too easy once, Saka's had a couple of runs, defenders double up against him. Stick him on the other flank and let him go there. Let Madueke try something.
I would say, that I just don't want to see Martinelli play tomorrow. I think he's been bad for a few weeks. And I think I would rather Saka on the right, Madueke on the left, or Madueke on the right, Saka on the left, or even Eze on the left. Like, I just don't want to see Martinelli, and obviously Trossard's unavailable. So I think we're all going Victor up top. You've got no choice.
Unless I'm going Kai.
Oh, yes, of course, because your midfield doesn't have Kai. You've gone for the same three there. Yem, you and I, Victor, or are you going for Gabby Jesus?
Do I want a pension, an akin to a pensioner up front? No.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have not. I mean, he's gone. He's washed. Gabby Jesus is absolutely washed.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, look, different opinions on the starting lineup for a change. We're normally very sort of aligned with our views. So predictions, chat. Let me know what you think the score is going to be tomorrow at the Emirates, 5:30 kickoff against Everton. Just while before I come to you guys, HT says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Ram says 1-0 as well. Gabriel Magalhaes to score. Oslo Guna, welcome to the show, says 3-1. Arsenal, Saka and Gyökeres to get 2. That would be lovely. Big Gabby getting a 1-0 victory in V Vlad's eyes. Mohammed's a bit more confident, 3-1. Anajit says clean sheet, 2-0. Nervy 1-0. Not sure I could take that. And no, not another set piece, please. Josh says, Hart says 1-0. Mind says 1-1. A draw would be absolutely devastating, especially given that we've got no more Premier League games for another, 4 weeks? That could manifest pretty badly. 2-1 says Abdel Gunner. So, Wayne, where do you think the game is going to be won and lost? And what do you think the score is going to be?
We just need to create some chances because, like you said, they're going to sit back. They're going to try to frustrate us. The longer that the game goes 0-0, the crowd are going to start getting frustrated. Just get a goal in the first half, bring them out, and if they play football, they play football, and whatever happens. Just Don't pass it around the back and pass it slowly and pass it from centre mid to centre back when they're not going to come and get it. They're not going to come and press. You're not going to trick them into some sort of mistake. And don't play for set pieces. Let's try to just have a little bit of influence and create a little bit more and hopefully see some freedom in our front four.
And let's not forget the time wasting. Asif just pointed out they're going to start time wasting from about 5 minutes. Tomorrow's going to be one of those days, isn't it, lads? Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, it's going to be an awful game. Awful game, because Moisey wants it that way. He wants it dirty. He wants it nasty. He's going to low block so badly. It's going to be like almost on the goal line. And the fact is set pieces are not going to work here. They've got too tall a team. They're well drilled. And do you know what's going to really get my goat? Because it's happening every game. Low XG chance, goal. It's genuinely one of the most frustrating things I see, that we are the worst team to concede from an low XG chance every time. All I'm asking for, and I'm begging Arteta, is to at least, as Wayne said, show some creativity. Let them play. Don't just recycle the ball, etc. Just do something different. We know how this is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah. Here's a question. Would you have rather had 10, 11, 12 days to rest and play tomorrow, or would you rather have had the fixtures that we've had?
You're sharper for playing.
You want to be playing.
Hopefully that's going to bode well in our favour. So Yem, come on, what's the score? And Wayne, what was your score again?
I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 2-1 and Arsenal. 2-1 as well. They're going to get that low SG chance. You know it's going to happen.
I don't think Everton score tomorrow. So I think it's just a case of whether we can break through early, and if we do, then I think it could be 2-0. Yeah, I'll go with a nice 2-0. David Ornstein Bomber, what's going on now? Wayne's ticket.
Wayne's ticket's been cancelled.
Oh, don't do that.
Don't
do that.
No. Well, you are definitely going. It's been streamed live to, potentially thousands of people. I can't see anything from David Ornstein.
That was earlier. It's not a bomber. It was the message earlier about Spurs. They're working on potential candidates to replace Tudor if and after the Liverpool game. But then there was the reports from the Spurs fans that it's going to be Ange.
Who knows?
Honestly, this club is so funny.
Anyone.
It's so funny. You can't.
It could be anyone. It could.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video of Eze meeting Romario?
No.
He's at the training ground. Look,
Romario today at London Colney.
There's a video. I don't know if it's today.
I wonder if that's some sort of coaching or attacking. We had Wayne worried. We did. We had him worried. Right, ladies and gents, we're going to leave it there. What a long show that's been. And actually not for once for Yemen, which is great. But no, it's been a really good show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys joining us on every Friday night. If you have enjoyed it, if you're late to the show, you can, of course, watch it back on demand or listen on audio platforms like Spotify and Apple. Give us a kind rating and subscribe on those platforms if you like. And if you want to support the channel for the price of a coffee a month, get over to Patreon, where you can get lots of different benefits, or become a channel member on YouTube if that is your thing. Yembele is available at Verge 59. And yes, we shall be recorded at Wembley for the Carabao final. I don't know what platform that's going to be released on. You can listen to us, listen to all of our delightful content. I think they make a short video of lots of fans in the stadium. If anybody wants to follow Wayne, there is a new Can You Believe It episode that has dropped as well. He is available at Wayne's World 20_. Wayne is obviously going to the Carabao Bins on Sunday the 22nd. Look at his face. Look at his face. Any closing messages from either of you two?
If anyone knows where to source some cans of Carabao, please let me know.
Yeah, that's the next thing. We can't not be going to the final without Carabao drinks in hand. Look, we're going to leave it there. Arsenal play Everton tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. If you are going to the game, if you are lucky enough to have a ticket like us, bring your dinner and scream until your lungs hurt because the boys need us. 3 points tomorrow would be absolutely gargantuan and set us off for what is going to be a grueling gargantuan month ahead. Firing on all four fronts. Look after yourselves. Back tomorrow with the match reaction video, hopefully with a massive smile on my face and 3 points. And City, let's see what West Ham have got for you. Ions, take it easy. Bye for now.